How many of you can read what this says? Just show by way of hands if you can read it. Yeah? Because I don't know if the font is big enough. I don't know, some of you might wear glasses. Don't want to judge. All right, most of you can read it, okay? If you can't read it, it says, connected by humanity. And it's in a nice little jazzy font that I sorted out earlier today in Microsoft Word, all right? Now, this is what I want you to do, all right? If you want to take part in the exercise real quickly, all I want you to do is say that, connected by humanity, but I want you to say it up here. Let's not speak a word, all right? So after 3, just say it in your head, all right? 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Did you hear that? Just show by way of hands. Did you hear it? Did you hear it up here? You heard it up here, didn't you? It had a voice. I mean, even if you close your eyes, you could probably see the font that I just held up there. Yeah. What is that? I mean, personally, I don't know what it is. Some people call it different things. Have you got an idea what you would call it? What would you call that voice in there? Anyone, just shout it out to me.
Imagination.
Imagination, what else?
Radio me.
Radio me, what else would you call it?
The brain.
Sorry?
The brain.
The brain. 2 more?
Soul.
The soul. The soul. What else?
The spirit.
The spirit. Beautiful, beautiful words. I like radio me. You might have to copyright that one. But those are all things that we might call that voice. Personally, I've always called it my conscience. Yeah. That's what I call it. It's something different to all of you, but I call it my conscience. It's what guides me. Sometimes I listen to it. And when I listen to it, good things usually happen. And other times, I don't. You know? Other times we know what the right thing to do is, but we silence that voice. And we can silence it in a number of ways. We can silence it with alcohol. We can silence it with drugs. We can silence it with positive things, like exercise, just to take our mind off of what we know we really should do. For me, I call it my conscience. Now, a few years ago, I left the UK and I traveled abroad, and I lived abroad for a year. And during my time abroad, I got very close to a family that welcomed me into their homes. And one of the young men of this family, his name was Kieran Starr. And when I came back to the UK, I found out that Kieran was diagnosed with leukemia. A side note to this, and I say a side note, but something that's also very pertinent, is that during my upbringing, me and my father were never the closest. We had a bit of a turbulent relationship, you could say. So I went away for the year, not much communication with my father. And when I got back to the UK after that year, upon coming back, I remember my father saying to me, "You don't have to contact me. It's fine. Do your thing." And inside, I was like, yes! I don't have to talk to my dad. We don't have to communicate, because it was tough to do. But upon coming back to the UK, I also found out that Kieran was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 21. Life has a funny way of just changing course, you know? We don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. So, what did I do? One of the first things I did was I thought, what can I do for Kieran? How can I reach out and do something for him, for his family? When someone's diagnosed with a disease, and also one that was incurable, as we came to find out, there's not much you can do. But like Richard said, I started an event called Jam It Out. As a musician, I decided, hey, let me do that. Let me put on an event that raises awareness of blood cancer and raises money for a charity. And Jam It Out, well, it's now in its 2nd year. But I also thought about the relationship I have with my father. And what can I do to reach out and maybe try and repair that? Now this is where we come back to that voice in our heads. The voice in my head was saying, oh, you know the right thing to do. You know you have to reach out. Funny thing, the second year of Jam It Out, I wasn't going to do it because I knew how much work goes into it also. I know how much groundwork and effort goes into putting on an event. So I said, I'm not doing that either. I wasn't going to reach out to my father. I wasn't going to do Jam It Out for a second year because it was too hard. But the voice in my head kept coming back and saying, remember your reasons. Remember your why. Why do you want to do it? So I dug deep. I picked up the phone. I made the phone call to my dad. And we sat down man to man. And we were able to talk things through. And you know, you're never always going to agree with your parents. But understanding why they do the things they do might just help you to get over certain things. And I'm happy to say I was able to do that. Then Jam It Out came along. I listened to that voice in my head again. I got up, out the flat. I went and started campaigning. And I made that happen also. What I'm trying to say is that voice, this guide that guides me, it's in all of us. Sometimes it's filled with doubt. Sometimes it tells you you can't do something. But I think in our heart of hearts, we do know the right thing to do. We know the right way to go. And if we listen to that voice more often, we'll find ourselves in the right place. And to leave you with one last story, I'll leave you with this. So after reconciling with my father, I remember me and my then girlfriend, we went away to Budapest. And as we were coming back on the plane, we went through terrible turbulence. I'm talking that sort of turbulence where people aren't even screaming. They're just all quiet because they're thinking, oh wow, this actually could be it, right? So we're sitting there next to each other, we're hand in hand. And once we got through the rocky turbulence, she turned to me, looked at me, and she said, what were you thinking about whilst we were going through that turbulence? And I said, you know, I was really happy that I was able to reconcile with my dad and that we sorted things out, you know. I said, what were you thinking about? She said, I was just happy that I was here with you. Where was that voice in my head then? Yeah? Sometimes you say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Oh. But what I'd like to leave you with is this, all right? If you've taken anything from my talk, believe in that voice, you know? Trust in yourself. Trust in what you can achieve. And there's one last quote. I might not get it right word for word, but I believe it was Nelson Mandela. And he said something along the lines of, may your decisions be made from your hopes, not your fears. And I think that's really deep, because there's a lot to fear in life. I mean, we could run ourselves sick with fear. But think about the hope. Think about what could be. Let that be your focus and make your decisions based on that. This platform is absolutely amazing. And Richard is absolutely amazing for creating this. Thank you so much for letting me speak. Thank you for your time. Thank you.